mobile again. Last time I was driving this, it was in limp mode. Story of my life. I'm quite convinced that Terry didn't charge me for all the labour. He charged me for the parts, obviously, and the labour bill was... he did me a favour. Ooh, I wonder if I can cheekily dump my rubbish out for these bin men. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. There is nowhere discreet to pull over when you drive a giant van like this. This is so cheeky. I'm sure that's an offence. Where am I going to park this behemoth? Oh, you fucker. I was going to add that. To save everything falling out onto the floor, I've just put everything on the floor. I offered to pay the mechanic who was crawling around underneath the van for a couple of days, give him an extra tip. He said make a donation to the local hospice, which I have. This is the seaside. This is where I've been living. The beach is lovely. The town itself is... when the best thing to happen in a town is a new Wetherspoons, you know there's not been a lot of money put into the area. But in the meantime, just look at the beach. Look at this lovely beach. I used to come down here with Dad and he's take his electric buggy. That lighthouse there is called Short. That lighthouse there is called Tall. That one over there is shorter than that one, which is taller than that one. Another good night's sleep. My fan doesn't work. Today's mission is to find water. I got an idea from an Instagram called Adventures of Sil. They go skiing and have these amazing adventures with their dogs. Anyway, what they do is they go to petrol stations or fuel stations, gas stations, and the water pump does say not drinking water. I have a filter. It won't filter out microbes, but it will filter out any kind of nasty taste. I'm only using my water pump and storage for washing and boiling. Teas, coffees, whatever. I'm buying bottled for that. I was successful. I did tie up the water machine for a little while because it comes out like a trickle. Well, it's not going to come out like a torrent because people are going to be topping up their water reservoirs and stuff and they don't want it jetting out like a hose pipe. Is it naughty? Am I being naughty? I think I am being naughty. It comes out really, really, really slow. So I've got maybe 15 litres of water, which is going to be plenty for me. I don't want to put in too much and have it festering there in the back. I need to put the lid on actually. Sloshing around in the back. I've got a whole ton of stuff on the floor, gluing a riv nut into a hole in the worktop, same as I did in the back. The roll bolt section of it I don't need, so I'll just keep that, screw it in. It is a bit long and it's going to stick out the other side. It'll be right at the back of the cupboard. I don't know that it's going to be a terrible problem. I'm going to put one in, see how that turns out, and that measurement was perfect because it comes down behind the back of the cupboard. And it'll look like that, which is pretty discreet. Yeah, from the inside of the cupboard you can't even see the bolt, so I'm very happy with that. The eyelet's in. I've just got a pound store carabiner bungee. I've got 4 bags that I keep my filmmaking stuff in. I can just strap those down there now. And I've just finished doing the same thing here for my desktop PC. It's deliberately squeezed in very tight there. It's early in the morning and I'm going to have a wash quietly because I'm in a very nice neighbourhood. There's a neighbour a few doors down that has 2 Ferraris. As rich as they are, they might still recognise the sound of a whistling kettle. There are parking restrictions in this area, so I need to be away before 8 o'clock, and it's just gone 10 to. People from the UK will know this, because nothing is free in the UK. We have to pay for everything, except for my water yesterday, which was free. But supermarkets, you can park there while you're shopping. Once you finish shopping, get out. Most supermarket car parks, you get maybe 3 or 4 hours of free parking, customer only parking. UK roads are shit. Little odd job for the day. I've just put some hooks on the back doors. The bolts are already there. Found some hooks that are held on by just a single bolt or screw. I had to use a step drill to open up the hole, nice and strong. My pump's so loud. Now the instruction manual says it doesn't matter which way up the pump goes. Feet down on the bottom of the cupboard when I was just assembling it, test assembling it, just to see how it worked. Silent, no, not silent, but the noise is coming out of the pump. And strangely, when it cuts out, there's a noise that comes from the back, from the pipe. So I don't know what's going on there. I've tried bypassing the filter, and that made 0 difference to the noise. So I'm going to just play around with changing the positioning of this. It's like it's transmitting sound through the water. Most of the noise is coming from the back. There's more noise coming from the back of the van than from the pump. Because there's no breather hole in the cap, I've had the cap loose. It's the cap. No, I don't think I'm going to fix it today. I'm going to screw this back on and make a cat's cradle out of bungees and fix the pump in that. Just need to make a breather hole in that cap and then we're sorted, we're done. Plan for today, I'm going to park up out of town and then walk into the town centre. We'll go and have a tour. I sense that the theme of this week's episode is parking. I'm parked just outside the restricted parking area and it's all 8 AM to 6 PM. Tourism. Welcome to Cavendish. This is where I was last night. Van back there. It's a very pretty place, Cavendish. Got a village pond. It's been like that all morning. There must be some kind of motorbike event going on somewhere, because there's been nothing but motorbikes coming past all day long. Really, I only went to the pub to use their toilet, which I did, but I also stopped and had a pint of Diet Coke, yeah, and sat looking out onto the village green. Probably at one time in the history of Cavendish they used to burn witches or some shit like that. And Cavendish is famous for, I think, furniture and also for Sue Ryder care homes for ill people. I'd put a pin in the map here. This is alright, this is worth remembering. I'm set up round the back of B&Q's car park. These rear pillars and above the door are not insulated. Sound of rain, sound of passing cars, it's becoming very noticeable. Also, I have all this rock wool. And down there you can see I put some flexi conduit into a hole in the back of the van, and it goes round the back of the bumper trim. Round the back of the bumper trim down there is like a flappy vent type thing. It's not easy to get to. Jamming it through and down into the hole at the other end. Because it's behind the rear lights, I've put rock wool into bags and then stuffed it into the voids, because at the moment, until I trim this, these are all open vents. I wasn't able to get silent coat into here, so this is a bit tinny. Rock wool in there. Finishing off the boxing in of this wheel well. Rock wool in plastic where it's open at the far end, and this end is not bagged up. Stuck the top of the wheel arch box on. My mastic gun has come apart. Privacy blind is all set up for the night. I'm parked in a residential area. It's not quiet, it's not busy, it's somewhere in the middle. It's got to be quieter than Motorbike City last night. I've done some work on the pump as well. It is just the noise of the pump now that I need to figure out. Suspending it on bungees, it just stops it from being transmitted into the wood, but I'm going to box it up. The pipe that runs all along the back there is also lagged. Back in B&Q car park, and I'm boxing in the other wheel well. Cutting the panels to size with a handsaw is no fun at all. I'm persevering with it. This is a surf form, and this is what I'm using to tidy up my cuts, because I'm cutting it by hand. It's all over the place. It's working alright. I've surf formed the edges there, and they're all nice and straight, just like the other side. I filled it with rock wool. That's the lid on the wheel arch. The manager didn't actually want me in his car park. Yeah, I don't think I'll go back there again. Since the van's been back on the road, I've had 7 days, so I have used my emergency number 2 facilities. It's not something you want to do lightly. All the scented bags in the world and double bagging it. That smell with the vent going.